Hey, I'm just on here early. Hey, I'm just on here early to make sure I have everything under control, getting everything all set up. Admin settings. Okay. Cool. Okay. Hey, I'm just setting up. Welcome. Just give me a few minutes to get everything kind of set up. I'm going to turn off the Q&A. Okay. Hey. Hey, everybody. Hey, I'm just gonna give it a few minutes. I'm good. How are you doing? I'm just gonna give it a few minutes, and then I'm gonna try to get Margaret to jump on here with us. But I did tell her one, so I just wanted to make sure that I got up in here. Hey, and got this ready to go before I brought her in. And I want to make sure I know how to do all the things. So let me see. If I go like that, then how do I change down here? Add a host. Okay, that's good. I'm going to do that. Sorry. Work with me here because, let me see. That's cool. And then I don't know if I can change the green screen at all, but thank you so much. You're so sweet. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to change my screen. Am I? Effects. I am. Cool sauce. Okay. Because I want to be able to put, once I get Margaret on here, I'm going to have to move the chart down. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I could do that. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I super appreciate that. Okay. Can I? Yeah, thank you. Hi. Okay, give me just a second here. Sorry, everybody, I'm just setting up, so don't mind me. I'm just making sure everything's all good here. Okay. Hey. So it looks like I have to wait for. Wow, somebody was planning their own unalive? That's interesting, though. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Hey. So we'll just see if we can get Margaret in here to join. And let me see here. Let me send this out to her so we can. There we go. Yeah. Hey, Brian. Nice to meet you as well. Hey, everybody. Where's everybody from while we're waiting for a little bit? I'm in Portland, Oregon. So it's about 1 p.m. here. Louisiana, Toronto, East Coast. Nice. The UK, Germany, California, France. That's really cool. That's amazing. Atlanta. Oh my, they were talking about it in great detail. That's interesting. Italy. How cool is that? Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. Illinois. We have some good ones in here. Portugal, living in Switzerland. Very cool. Scorpio Rising. Scorpio Risings are the ones with the intense eyes. That's your filter, so people see you as a Scorpio, more likely, you know? No, this is Margaret Cho. This is Margaret Cho's chart in the background. I don't know if you're unaware of who Margaret Cho is. She is a comedian. She's a Korean American comedian who is very bisexual, and hey, thank you, and an awesome actress, fashion designer, all of this stuff. So I'm hoping she's gonna pop on here, and I'm gonna add her to it before I start reading. I told her 1, so we still have a few minutes. Thank you so much from Spain. So yes, Scorpios do have that. They have intense eyes, but usually the risings more than standard Scorpios, which is interesting. Leo midhavens, those are people who want adoration for hard work. So like Leos are known for, like, people might say it's more of an it's Margaret Cho's. This is Margaret Cho's natal chart. And the Leo midhaven, that's, you don't see, Leos aren't egotistical in the sense that they just want adoration for no reason. They want adoration for doing something. So in that case, that's really what helps. Well, Yan, this is my job. I get paid for this. I'm an astrologer. So I do readings. So if you want to try to book a reading with me, you can do that. It's hard to DM me on here, but you can email queerstrology@gmail.com to get on my schedule. And I do a reading like similar to what I'm going to do here for Margaret today. And so you can have that. And actually the prices are going to go up in December, but currently, for the month of November, a reading, like a live chart reading, $60. A video is $100. I also do compatibility charts, and those are a little more, but, you know. Do you do anything alongside astrology? What do you mean by that? Like other things? I do a bunch of stuff, but stuff that I feel comfortable, trained enough in order to, maybe not so much, but... Let me see if Margaret happens to be on yet. Man. Okay, hang on for a second. Looking. We both said we got to try this because we don't know. Okay, there we go. I have been into astrology my whole life. But I really started getting into Queerstrology actually just this year in January. I started Queerstrology because I wanted to research it more, and I wanted to take the gender out of it, and I wanted to take the binary, and even I happen to be poly, so I didn't want to be so linear. So I created it, and in turn learned and got to share it. My big 3, I am a Capricorn sun, Sag rising, and moon. Taurus, 11 degrees, and you're really worried about the new moon and the eclipse, something bad. No, I mean, honestly, instead of putting your energy into worrying about it, think about the new things that you can create. And if you can do that, put your intention and energy towards positive things. Like, that's exactly how I think astrology is in general. I don't think it's an exact science. It's literally about the journey, and putting intention where you might find a speed bump somewhere, but it's basically try to focus your intention on something. There might be something big happening on November 9th. I'm not sure. Like, nothing pops into my head. Capricorn, Pisces, Virgo. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Let me see. Hey. No, nothing right at the moment. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Can you apply for a job? Oh, like, I'm not doing any individual readings other than, hey, there she is. Hang on for a second. I should be able to add you. Hang on, Margaret. Let me see. There we go. Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Thank you so much for joining me. This is really awesome. I appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate it too. This is super cool. Thank you. This is my first live I didn't know how to do it, but I guess.
Yeah, me
now
either.
I
So
know.
I came on a little early to try to, like, I'm also like too old for this app, but I'm here.
I'm so old for this app, but I'm here. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Why not? F it. Why not?
That's great.
So, hey, you might recognize this. I don't know if you do or not, but that's your chart.
Oh, wow. Yes.
And so how I read, or like I was just telling everybody, like my intention with astrology is that's what it's about. It's not an exact science. So it kind of shows us where you might want to put some intention or where you might have a speed bump in your life in general.
Yeah.
And how I read is I read it kind of like a book. I literally start at the beginning, your first house, your ascendant, which is that, I have to do it in front of my face. It's like right there, that ASC. And then we'll read it all the way around. So everybody has all the signs in their chart. So everybody who's like, oh, I hate Libra, that means you hate part of yourself, just so you know.
Right. Yeah.
So everybody has that. And then the houses, which are these numbers in the middle, everybody has all 12 houses. Those are where something happens in your life. So it's like, it's part of kind of like a journey. And it's not linear. It's like a soundboard. Like any of these things can be going on at any given time. And then any of these points or planets, those are added focus. So as we go around, we'll just bring up any kind of focus that they have. And then all these little line craziness, those are aspects. That's how those focus points get along. And you actually have a mystic rectangle, which is really cool. So we'll talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. But let me scoot this way so you can see this side. So you are a Sag rising. So am I, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. You're also a Sag sun. And this is your Mercury that's here as well. So your filter is your rising sign. It's basically your earth sign because it's the constellation that was on the horizon the moment you were born. So, like as an example, because you are a Sag sun and I see that you're also a Sag rising, you were probably born somewhere around 6 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yes, exactly. Six in the morning.
Yeah. So if that's the case, that's just because during your season, during whatever season it is, at dawn is usually that rising sign. So that's just a little, off the thing. I just did a video on that. That's why it's stuck in my head.
Awesome.
So then Mercury is the planet of communication and the sun is your ego. So Sagittarius is the sign of adventure. They like higher education, philosophy. Okay. We are also the know-it-all sign. I have a lot of Sag in my chart too. We are the know-it-all sign because we do know it all. It's just kind of how we deliver it. And the fact that you have Mercury there suggests that you're very upfront with your communication, but we're very generous. So we're trying to learn things and experience things in order to educate the world. That's our philosophy that comes through. So this is your house of self. This is when you were born and now you're creating who you are. So having your ego there and your communication are going to be a big part of how you identify. I mean, makes sense, especially with stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, when we go to the second house, you will see any sign that is on this line right here. That's the cusp line for the houses. So whatever sign is there, that's the one that rules that house. Even if it's just a tiny degree, it still rules it. So Cancer rules your second house. Your second house is the house of value. So you've been born and now you want to find out the things that you're valuing in your life or that you're going to seek value in. And your Venus happens to be here, which is the planet of love, but also what I like to call your bottom energy because it's what you like to surrender to, how you feel like you can surrender to something. So if I'm sorry, not Cancer, Capricorn. So if it's in Capricorn, that means that you are going to be very efficient. You're going to like efficiency because if people are cutting the fat out, you can tell that they really do genuinely like you, or that they are genuinely bringing value to you. That's how you might see it. That's what Capricorn does, because Capricorn is a very efficient, effective kind of sign. They're a cardinal earth sign. I don't know if you know the elements and things like that. There's the 4 elements. And the cardinal signs are the initiators. So the Capricorns are the initiation of like structure, if you will, because they're very grounded. And so that's how you're going to be in your love and how you surrender. You're going to need to feel like you're safe and sound before you can surrender to something. Now, Aquarius is right here, and it rules your 3rd house. Aquarius is the alien of the signs, right? They're very unique. They don't like anything to be typical. And the 3rd house is communication. So go figure. You're not typical at how you communicate. You don't like to go with the traditional sense of communication. In fact, how you communicate, you would like it to help humanity, and you would like it to be for society in some way, shape, or form, because Aquarius is known as the humanitarian sign. So 4th, if we go over your 4th house, that one's ruled by Pisces. Pisces is the oldest sign. It's the wisest sign. And they're about intuition. So this is your house of home. That means you are going to be very intuitive with everything in your home. You know what everything needs. Like, you rescue a lot of like animals and stuff like that. So you're probably very intuitive about what they need and how to make them feel really comfortable and nurture them. And then you have Aries here too, which is this very fast sign. It doesn't rule this house, but it is it's known to be competitive and very quick. So you might be quick to jump into things, but you have this planet right here, which is Saturn. Saturn is one of the social planets, and it's a planet of restriction. Remember, it has like rings around it. That's how I remember. Jupiter's the expansion one. So having that there is actually going to give you this ability to have this this great spontaneity in your home life, but not too much. Like it'll help you kind of, do I need to do that? Or was that just kind of like, woo, for a second there? Like, it gives you the ability to do that because you act a lot on your gut. So, and then, you know, you have this Aries fire that comes in because that's the fire cardinal sign. So again, initiation. So there, it's very hasty, but with Saturn there, it just gives you that nice even flow. So you get all this great energy, intuition, and fast ideas, and then you get to pare it down to what you want. So 5th house is ruled by, I'm sorry, I have a PDF up here too, so I'm following along, making sure I cover everything. So your 5th house is ruled by Aries, and that means you're very active because this is your house of creativity. So again, lots of ideas and lots of things that are going on in there. And this is the house that has Saturn in it. And so that's going to be able to, you might have this kind of fear of achieving because then you don't know if you can replicate that again. Like there's this kind of feeling of like, I don't want to do too good at it because then I have to do it better next time. But having the Saturn there will help you also subdue some of that flavor that might be over the top for some people. You shouldn't subdue yourself. I would never say that to you. But that's what it's saying, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So Taurus is ruling your 6th house. Now that is the sign of like security and value. They like luxury. They're the sign that likes to eat their snacks and Netflix, you know? So this is your routine. So you like to be at home chilling, and you know that's it. If you need to be of service to somebody, you will, and you'll get it done. It might take, it doesn't matter how long it takes you, but you will get it done for them, and you're really reliable in your acts of service. Now a relationship house is the 7th house. Yours is ruled by Gemini. Now what I always like to say is Gemini is an air sign. It's the sign of duality, the twins, if you will. So what do you think when you put that into relationships, what that might mean? First of all, you're not cis, which we already know that, but Anybody who has an air sign that rules it or in that part of their house, I'm like, you're not cis at all, because air signs are so free flowing. They don't like to be constricted into any kind of pigeonhole. So that's how Gemini is. And Gemini wants to educate themselves. So you probably read like relationship books or like how to do something. You'll like to educate yourself, or through other people you have relationships with. So you'll learn things from them. And then you have your moon here, which is in Gemini. So the moon rules your emotions. And so your emotions are deeply involved in your relationships. And it has to do with how they affect your mind. So it's it might make you a little bit sapiosexual in a way. You're kind of attracted to that intelligence and being able to learn something from somebody. You like to pull that from different spots. So Cancer rules your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of power, rebirth, sex, taboo stuff, all of that. So having Cancer rule it, that just means you're very nurturing in this area. So you probably, anybody who happens to be in the world of the taboo or feels like they don't have any power and they need help in transforming, you are the mama for that. Like, you can mama them, no problem. Because that's that energy that Cancer is going to bring to that particular house, is like, what do you need, honey? I can help you do it. And you can just nurture somebody through their transitions. It seems like that's a great spot for Cancer, because it's natively ruled by Scorpio. So same kind of energy, that water energy, but this one's more mommy, less stingy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Leo happens to rule your 9th house, which is your house of adventure and experience, philosophy, higher education. And so having Leo there, Leo is about adoration for things, and not like egotistically, actually for doing something. So you'll like to work hard and show that you've done something. And you like to be people who, I saw you did that. Like, you like people to say, I see you working hard and doing that. And you'll put that into your sense of adventure. Like, if you're going to go do something, you're going to want to do it in order to make something better, or to make it more creative, or make it prettier, because Leo's all about creativity, right? They like to give playfulness and pizzazz to things. Somebody's throwing sunflowers down for Leo. I see that. Now we go to the 10th house. This is your midhaven, where that MC is. That's the middle sky. And this is the 10th house. The cusp is your ambition, your career. And so yours is Virgo. Now that means that Virgos are the analytical sign, right? They have lists for everything. They have stuff they have to do. So when it comes to your career, you're probably very like organized in order to feel like you have things under control, because you want to be able to transform in your career. You want to be able to expand in your career, and you want it to be totally different and something you're passionate about. And how do I know that? Because you have a 10th house stellium. That's 3 or more points in the same house or the same sign. So this is all in your career. That's all those points are. Okay. So Pluto, which is still in Virgo, that's the planet of transformation. So Virgo is going to bring you this very, very organized sense of transformation, right? You're going to have, like, again, how you're going to transform. You might even have like a journal of it. And then when we move over, we go to Libra, which is in that house. Now, Libra is the sign of balance. It wants everything to have some balance to it. So while it wants you to have this great organization in your career, it also wants you to have fun, right? Libra wants you to have that balance. And if you can do that, that's going to bring in your passion. Or actually, I'll start with expansion, which is Jupiter, that one that kind of looks like a 4 right there. That's expansion. So that's going to help you expand. Then you have Uranus next, and that's the planet of rebellion and like society and like social change. And then you have passion, or top energy, as I also like to call it, Mars. And that is the things that you will fight for, the things that you like to be dominant about because you know it. And those things will help you balance out that organization that you need in order to be successful in your career. So you get to have that fun still. And then Libra rules your 11th house, which is the social house, the networking house. That means you're going to want to be balanced in any of your kind of networking that you do, or any kind of groups that you join. Super balanced in that. Like, again, work hard, play hard. You're going to want it to actually be for something, though, like to have some sort of movement, because Libra wants it to be fair in the end. You don't want to ask for nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And then your 12th house is ruled by Scorpio. Now this placement is interesting because you have Neptune here, and that's the planet of dreams. So, and intuition in its native house, because this is where it natively is. So that gives you extra intuition. And then Scorpio, like I said, they're very intuitive as well in a different way, because they're about transformation. They can see things they're the person that are like the human lie detectors, if you will. So you can kind of sniff out people's bullshit intuitively. Like you just have this sixth sense about people, and possibly it looks like some psychic capabilities there. That's what that's telling me. And I don't know if you use that or not, but it's definitely there. Let me see if I can pull up this other. I did this before. I think, yeah. See? I can do it. Here we go. The first one is here. Okay, so I'm going to talk about aspects, right? Now, the first one is called a conjunction, and that's when they're within 10 degrees of each other. They're right next to each other. That's blended energy, which means you basically can't tell them apart. So when you have something like your rebellion and your expansion right next to each other, that tells you that they grow together. The more they work together, the more you will rebel and expand at the same time. And then if we look at the next one is called Sextile, and these are 60 degrees apart. These are kind of like besties. They're like holding hands, skipping down the street. So they're totally independent, but they love to spend time together. They want to hang out. So anything like when you have your restriction and your emotions are besties, that just means that they are helping each other. Like your restriction helps you not to be overly emotional, and your emotions help you not to be so restricted. Right? That's how they're complementing each other. They're like chit-chatting each other, gossiping about it so they can work through it. That's how I like to look at that one. And then you have square, which is 90 degrees. And square usually means like they're literally squaring up to each other. They're not so happy with each other. There's some conflict there. And when you see this, that just means that you might have to choose between one or the other, is usually how that comes off. So as an example, your career with your emotions. So sometimes you might have to make a career that goes against something that you're emotionally attached to, and that might make you feel uncomfortable. You know, that's basically what that says. Because squares are just about being uncomfortable, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
It's not like detrimental or anything. Now these are trines. So trines, these are in sync. They flow well together. They're in the same element, like I was saying before, earth, wind, air, and fire. And so like when you see something like your Mercury that is trining with your Saturn, that's your communication is flowing well with your restriction. So again, your restriction is probably helping you not to be overly talkative in your communication or something along those lines, whatever it happens to be doing, just as an example. And it's helping you flow. I like to compare it to the band NSYNC. Like they are totally separate. They're not even best friends. They have jobs to do. And then they get together. They got their moves. They look good. And then they go back and do their other things, right? That's a trine.
Yeah.
And then if you look at this one, this is my favorite. These are oppositions. So they can see each other and they're like kind of competitive. So they're like your emotions are like, watch this. I can do this for us. And have like, maybe you have a great emotional like plateau in a relationship or something. And then your Mercury is going to go, yeah, oh yeah? Well, watch me make you a better person by learning how to communicate better. So like they'll just kind of keep going back and forth and pushing each other. It's like friction that creates action, if you will.
Yeah.
And now we get to talk about your rectangle, because that's cool. Okay, so this is a mystic rectangle, okay? That's what's in your chart. And I want to make sure I don't say this wrong. So I don't have everything memorized yet. I should, get to there. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that because your sun is in opposition to your moon, which is that last one we were just looking at, the blue, that automatically means you were born on a full moon. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
great.
If it's in opposition, that automatically means you're born in a full moon. If it's in conjunction, it means you're born on a new moon, like around now.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so a mystic rectangle is about balance and harmony. So it can show your talents and your strengths. So you have a couple of spots here, right? So there's always two of everything. There's two oppositions, which are there's two trines, two oppositions, which are the blue ones, and two sextiles, the purple ones. Okay? So the first ones, which are the oppositions I was just telling you about, the push-pull ones, the blue ones that are crisscrossing there. So your sun and your ego, right here, that along with your communication, it's flowing well, or it's working well, pushing and pulling with your emotions. So your ego and your communication are helping your emotions create. And then at the same time, your passion and your restriction are helping each other. And then the ones that are flowing well together are your sun and your communication with your restriction, the green ones, and then your passion with your emotions. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then you have the besties that are, again, helping. It's all about your communication, your passion, your emotions. They're all working together to give you your hidden talents, so to speak. But we already know you're already talented, so it doesn't really tell us that, anything we don't know. But yeah, that's basically the reading. I do have, if you want to know about your Chiron, which is your wounded warrior, I wrote that down.
Yeah.
And that one is Pisces for you, and it's in the fourth house. Fourth house is home. And so that means that your childhood wounds have to do with abandonment, being in the fourth house, and that you're very insightful and forgiving and understanding of other people, but that you feel guilty when you take care of yourself.
Okay.
So that's saying in order to heal, don't stop taking care of other people. Just include yourself in that, and that's going to help you heal. Because it's also your power. It's your wound, but it's also your power as well. And your north node, which is usually this little horseshoe looking thing that's on there, that's your destiny. And yours is in Aries in the fourth house as well. Again, home. So that means your destiny is full of energy. And that your root comes from Libra. So you like balance. That's what you're used to. And you feel comfortable in that. So it wants you to be more fiery. So it's like when you're doubting being more fiery, it's saying do it. That's part of your destiny. And it's coming from success. Having balance in your success, now you can have fiery, just a fiery home life is what it's saying. But domestic life, in other words.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's so wonderful.
So, yeah, I mean...
It's all really cool.
Thank you so much for coming out here and letting me read that for you.
Thank you. I love that.
Yeah, I've loved you forever. And so when I saw you were on, I'm like, yes, finally.
Yes.
Like some of my celebrity people are getting on TikTok. Thank you.
I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. This is so amazing. I'm so grateful that you got to do this. And I'm like, thank you.
Absolutely. And I love the podcast. Everybody make sure you go over there. Follow Margaret on here. Okay.
Yes,
follow Margaret on all the social. I think, are you on tour right now? I think you have one date coming up in California, but are you coming to Portland?
I will. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll be there probably next year at some point. So I'll let you know for sure.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's because I'm up in Portland. Everybody's giving you love in the comments.
I love you all. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. And thank you very much.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Go follow Margaret. Yay. Check out, link in my profile, I put her website up there so you guys can go check that out and learn more about Margaret. All right? So, again, thanks, Margaret. Cheers, everybody. Bye.
Bye.